Treasurer Reyna. Director Cantu.
Alonso, you here?
Yes.
Okay. Director Spammer.
Here.
Chairman, you have Director Pardo. Director Pardo, you can unmute your
Unmute?
device. Yeah, you're on mute.
You got quorum, right?
Yes, sir, you do have quorum.
Okay. Let's go ahead and stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do the invocation.
Father in heaven, bless us as we gather here today for this meeting. Teach us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in the face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Okay, Pilar, let's go ahead and go with the resolution. There any public comment?
No, sir, we do not have any public comment.
Okay, and we've established a quorum, so let's go ahead and go with resolution 2022-08.
Yes, sir. It's a consideration and approval of a right-of-way acquisition for the 365 Tollway project, including ratification of a purchase agreement, joint use agreement, and an additional parcel agreement with Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 2. Chairman, Director, in your packet, you will find a contract sale and purchase of real property between the authority and Hidalgo County Irrigation District Number 2. This is for the parcels that were necessary to construct the 365 tollway project. The irrigation district has signed the purchase agreement and has signed the deeds for those 23 parcels. So we effectively acquired them. But also they required us to sign a joint use agreement, which lays out the terms and conditions of the construction of improvements, relocation of facilities for the irrigation district, and then the responsibilities of the district and the responsibilities of the authority, where we have to co-locate facilities. In other words, our roadway and their irrigation infrastructure. There is also what we call an ex-parcel agreement. The district has brought to our attention the possibility of outstanding parcels that are out there. And so in order not to hold up the acquisition of the parcels necessary for the 365 tollway, we've entered into this agreement with the district, basically saying that we'll address those parcels. We need to survey them. We need to see what improvements are on them. We need to appraise them. And most importantly, we need to determine ownership on those parcels. And so that agreement says that we'll basically address those later. And so under previous authorizations from the board, I've been authorized to sign the purchase agreement for the acquisition. So I already had the authority, but in order to close that deal, I had to agree on a joint use agreement and the ex-parcel agreement. Legal counsel, Blakely, Richard Lu, and Luis Cardenas were all involved in the process for the drafting of these documents and review of these documents. And so basically at this point, we're asking you to ratify the three documents, the purchase, or the three agreements, I should say, the purchase agreement, the joint use agreement, and the ex-parcel agreement, so that we can move forward with the acquisition.
Was there any concerns by any of our legal counsel?
No, sir. With respect to the joint use agreement, it is, there are two documents, or the documents that are in play are the plans and specs, or the design plans. The sheets are exhibits to there, and the contract was an exhibit to it. And so in order for us to acquire those properties, they all work, they're interrelated documents. And so the goal was to acquire the properties, and then the requirement was always going to be that we relocate or construct the crossings underneath where the toll road will run to protect their improvements or facilities.
Richie, how
I'm
about
sorry, Jeff, what was the total amount? 50,000? How much is it?
I'm sorry, Director, the total acquisition,
Yes,
it was $1,108,000.
for the easement?
No, sir, we bought 20 parcels in fee and 3 easements.
I can't hear you. What?
20 parcels in fee, 20 or 21 parcels in fee and 3 easements.
Yes, 19 parcels in fee and 3 easements.
2 parcels and 3 easements?
19 parcels
Yeah,
and
we
3
need
easements.
another one, right? 'Cause I see something here on one of them that says, no, this is, you didn't send a closing statement or anything like that, right?
No, sir.
no?
The purchase price is described in the contract of sale.
Is that
On-
946.74?
That's for the 19 parcels. And then
Right.
3 pages later, you'll see the purchase price for the easements.
Okay.
Richie, a question on the representation of ownership by the Hidalgo County District Number 2. Are they representing they own it?
They represent that they own the 19 parcels and the 3 easement parcels. Yes, sir.
Through acquisition or outright ownership?
Well, I believe it's outright ownership because the commitments for title insurance evidence that they are the owners under Schedule A.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yes. That's with respect to the 19 parcels and the 3 easement parcels.
Okay.
Hey, guys, maybe I missed something, but do you have the plans for the parcels? Is there anything that can show us what you're actually buying? I went through the documents and I didn't see any maps or surveys or anything. And
Yes.
I didn't come to the last meeting, so I don't know if you went through the parcels in the last meeting.
Director Spammer, no, we did not go through the parcels, but these parcels are basically scattered from out McCall Road eastward, all the way down across Cage, across Veterans, southward along San Juan Road, all the way to Military Highway. They're parcels that are all along that. I believe it's 12 acre share. You remember? Someone?
They're about only like whole area.
Yeah, no, but Richie, do you remember how many acres total? I don't have that information off the top of my head, but I'm gonna say it's in the neighborhood of about 15, 16 acres.
Yeah. That's
So
my
you're at-
understanding. But each one of the deeds does contain the legal description and the survey map attached there too.
A plat and survey, right?
That's
Yes.
correct.
But they're all various sizes. Some are slivers, some are large tracts, you know, and everything in between. They're various size parcels.
Is there any more parcels that you need to buy, or this is the end of it?
Oh, and so that's the reason we have the what we call the X parcel agreement, which are also is that the district has said that there's a possibility that there's 16 additional parcels that they may own that we may need to acquire. And so basically this agreement says that we will look at those later, because we have to determine ownership, we have to determine, meets and bounds, we have to determine if there's any improvements in there, and we have to get all that verified. But I think the most important thing we need to determine is ownership on those, X parcels. And so, you know, that was part of the agreement with them, that we would address those at a later date. And they
But
would
those
not,
are parcels we've already acquired, right?
so 16 of them, I mean, let me see, Richie, how many is it? It's 11, excuse me, 11 of those we believe we already have ownership on. That we've already, approximately.
Approximately
11
11 of them.
Yes.
So if there's an issue, it's between the title company and the water district, not us, right?
Yes, sir. So our first step will be to address these issues with the title company, because we have policies on those,
Right.
on all that we acquired, and then let them sort out how they're going to handle that before we proceed any further with the district.
Right. Agreed. And then there'll be 5 separate additional parcels that we would have to address to purchase at a later date, right? If that's the case.
That is correct, and we're still trying to tie those 5 additional parcels down. They're not very large parcels, but the bulk of the parcels are the 11 that we believe we already own.
And we're going to look into the other 5 as well. All of them, that if they pertain to another purchase, a prior purchase.
Okay.
Let me ask, okay, is there any other parcels other than the irrigation district that you still have to buy, or is this the end of it?
These were the last, Director Spammer, these were the last parcels we needed.
And with that, you have full control of the right-of-ways control, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. We have 100% acquisition of the right-of-way, less the 16 parcels that we have to sort out. Which we believe we already own 11 of those 16 parcels. And we may own the remaining 5, but we've got to still sort through those.
Do you feel comfortable, Pilar, with the outstanding parcels to make sure that some type of a agreement can be consummated without anybody holding us hostage?
Well, basically, the irrigation district has agreed to allow us to proceed with construction. They're not going to hold up, by approving these 3 agreements, they're not going to hold up construction. But with the understanding that we would sort through the outstanding X parcels.
Hello, Pilar, this is Frank.
Yes, sir.
Was the funding for the acquisition of these parcels in our budgeting process?
Yes, sir, it is. So
Okay.
we actually had these parcels negotiated back in 2017, 2017, we had already negotiated these parcels. But because the district required us to make additional improvements, if you remember several months ago, we had to go back and redesign the bridge at the main canal. And so they've held us up all these years, not wanting to execute the deeds until we agreed to the additional improvements that we made. And so we finally got to the point where they would agree to sign off on these parcels so that we could proceed with construction.
So how much did the prices vary from the 2017 to now?
6.5%.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was 6.5% overall.
Yes, sir, overall. Yeah, these parcels, you know, what they were appraised at in 2016, we agreed to a 6.5% increase to the purchase price in 2022.
One question, how did you come up with a sales price?
So originally, yeah, back in 2016, Director Spammer, we had it appraised, and we had a fair market value appraisal. And so basically, you know, the district wanted consideration for the 26 appraised price versus the fair market value price in 2022, in 2016 versus the 20. So we made them a counter offer and they accepted it. And that the differential was an additional 6.5% to the purchase price from the original appraisal. Which we felt was fair, given that 6 years had elapsed since the appraisals, since the original appraisals.
Agreed. What is the total number of acres in the parcel?
I want to say it was about 16 acres total. Off the top of my head, I'm going to have Ramon verify that. But it was between 10 and 20 acres. It was right in that area. And again, all the parcels were different sizes aggregately, and they were peppered all over the project. It was everywhere they had a pipeline or a canal crossing. And so we had slivers all over the place. And there, if we bring up the map, and I'm going to see if Eric can bring up the map real quick. They're basically peppered all over the project between about McCall Road all the way down to Military Highway.
And it's about 25% of our 600 acres.
Yeah, so Eric says it's actually closer to 25 acres. We're going to bring up the map real quick so that you can see how they're distributed along the project. And they're not concentrated in one particular area. They're just the district has pipelines and improvements all over the place. Yeah, we're trying to bring up Google Earth here with a cadency map where we already have everything shown.
I don't worry about it. Don't do it on my behalf.
If there are no other questions, could I entertain a motion for approval to acquire the acquisitions?
Is there any motion? So move. I'll second.
I have a motion and second. Are there any other questions?
No.
If not, I'll entertain a motion for a vote.
So moved.
I got a motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I don't believe there's any more business that we need to entertain at this time. Is that correct?
That's correct, Chairman.
Pilar?
Yeah, no more. We have no more business for your consideration, Chairman.
With that, I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you for taking the time, gentlemen, this afternoon. I know y'all very busy. I appreciate it.